Welcome to a Better Divorce podcast, where we have conversations about the emotional, financial, and legal issues that are on your mind or should be on your radar if your goal is to keep your divorce out of court. I'm collaborative divorce attorney and mediator Andrea Vacca, and I know that how you divorce matters to your long-term well-being. That's why it's my mission to help you have a better divorce with as little acrimony as possible, so that you can create the best life possible on the other side of your marriage. Hello, everyone. It's just me today. I'm recording this in October, and I want to talk to you about something that's on my mind, and I know is on the mind of a lot of people who are in unhappy marriages right now. And that is the question of, should I wait until after the holidays to start my divorce process, or is that something I should do now? So perhaps it's because my law firm works only with clients who are willing and able to reach a divorce agreement outside of court that over the past few years, we've seen a large uptick in people who are starting divorces in the fourth quarter, in October, November, even early December sometimes, which is surprising because January is divorce month. But more and more people are starting in this fourth quarter, in the fall, and so that's what I wanted to talk to you about. To talk to you about the considerations that you want to take into account if you're at that place right now about deciding what to do. So, one of most people, I'd say, wait until after the holidays to start their divorce because of a number of reasons. And, nobody loves staying in an unhappy marriage longer than necessary, but it's a lot of stress to go through a divorce, and people don't necessarily want to bring on even more stress right now. So it may be better to wait until afterwards. If you can put on a happy face and easily navigate those family events and those holiday parties and everything else you need to go to with your spouse, it might not be a terrible thing to wait until after the holidays are over. It'll give you some time to think about your goals for the new year and how you want your life to look like. You could use this time in that way. The and it also it might take the divorce process could take months to get started. So you'll have some time now to get like a ramp up and be ready in January, more ready to move forward. But, there are also some financial benefits to to waiting. So, the holiday season is often very expensive. We're spending a lot of money on gifts, on sometimes on travel, on, year-end things that we need to buy or taxes we need to pay. It depends on your situation, and some people don't want to add more expenses into the mix. So if you wait until January, you'll have more clarity around what you actually earned in 2024 or 2025 or whatever holiday season you're waiting for. You'll have more information about what a year looked like. What did the past year look like for your spending, for your family? So you'll have more data, real time data, if you wait until after the holidays, and that might be something that's important to you. Also, it may benefit the children if you can wait until after the holidays. Avoiding stress to the children, adding more stress to the children's lives during the holiday season is probably something you don't want to do. If you and your spouse can pretend everything's okay and get along well, it'll give the kids the ability to enjoy at least one more holiday season with both of you and your extended family and friends. It could also help to prevent the children from associating the holidays with divorce when they, in their futures. Um, However, if you and your spouse are constantly fighting and constantly annoyed with each other, giving each other the silent treatment or outwardly fighting, the children will feel the tension between you. So if the stress of the holidays and the stress of your unhappy marriage is just too much, then and you don't want to separate right now, I highly recommend that you at least get some counseling, the two of you, about how to keep the fires lower, um, y- get through the holidays, let the kids have as peaceful an experience as they can, and just find ways to lower that animosity between you. One of my saddest holiday memories is actually from I believe I was 9 years old, and M my we on Christmas, it was Christmas Eve, and my somehow my parents said Santa came early, and under the tree were bikes, new bikes for my sisters and me, and I was so excited, and then I saw my mother's face, and she was furious, and I could see just absolutely distressed. Apparently, my father had not told her that he was buying the 3 of us new bikes, and they couldn't afford it. So, it was they were in a very bad place in their marriage. They stayed together way too long after that, but it never did get better. But that memory is still with me 51 years later. So, yeah, uh, do think about that. Um, so there are some good reasons, though, that you might want to start the divorce process before the holidays. Like I said, some of our clients are doing that more and more lately. One of them is just get making because it's safer. The holidays are very stressful, as we've mentioned a number of times here. And if you're married to an abusive partner, you shouldn't stay married and with that person any longer than absolutely necessary. Whether it's emotional abuse, verbal abuse, or physical abuse, you should know that your situation's unlikely to get any better and it could get worse and it could be dangerous. Now, most of our clients who are suffering from abuse or in abusive marriages are not physically harmed. There's no physical scars, but the emotional scars run very, very deep. And every month, every year, every day that you're in that situation, it's just getting worse. And so if you are in that type of abusive situation, it might be better just to start the process sooner than later. Also, if you start in October, November, whenever, letting your spouse know, I want a divorce, letting your families know that you are going to be separating, it could lessen the awkwardness that comes with putting on that happy face for your family and at the holiday events that are coming up. So if you or your spouse have a difficult kind of, helicoptery controlling type of family situation, you may not want to endure another holiday season pretending that everything is okay with your marriage. If that's the case, starting the divorce process before the holidays could give you the reason you need to skip certain holiday celebrations, avoid difficult conversations. You don't have to go to that holiday party at your spouse's, office. You can skip going to the the Christmas Eve or the Hanukkah events or whatever it may be with your family. So you get to stay home because you two are separating, and this might be the first season that you're announcing that you're each going to your own families or something like that. It takes thinking and it takes talking and planning, but as you're hearing this, if you want to avoid that type of holiday situation, now's the time to start thinking about putting that message out there. You can also avoid giving your spouse false hope. And this happens when you want the divorce, but your spouse doesn't. They want to stay married. They keep hoping that everything's going to be okay, and you're the one who wants to leave. In this case, waiting until after the holidays could lead your spouse to believe everything's okay and that the marriage can be saved, because you're going to put on that good face for the kids and the family and everyone else, and they may think, oh, everything's fine. And then you'd be announcing it after the holidays. It's not. So if giving your spouse false hope um, is something that you think will have not a great outcome later, then maybe it's better just rip the band-aid off. Let them know now that you want to move forward and whatever that may mean for you. So that's why you might want to announce it sooner than later. And then you can start planning your divorce sooner than later. So the sooner you come to that decision, the sooner things can start changing. The sooner you can start getting the information you need, the sooner you can start taking those steps forward. So other things you may want to consider if you're trying to decide, do I start this now? Do I wait until after the holidays? It's up to you, obviously, about when you want to get divorced. But if you're, wavering right now, here are some other issues discuss. So, how well are you co-parenting? How easy or difficult is it to co-parent right now? Some people handle that really well. Other people, as their marriage gets more intense and more tense and more difficult, it's really hard to make decisions for the children. The children are in the middle, so you have to look at your family and how are you doing? How are the children handling whatever the situation is between you and your spouse? Also, do you have holiday plans or vacation plans where you're spending extensive time together as a family? If the children have been looking forward to that ski vacation and you're going somewhere together, you might have to just suck it up and do it. But if you don't have any big plans, and maybe this is the time to do it because no one's expecting you anywhere. The kids didn't, or you're not going to be disappointing the children if you start to change some things. So look at that. Um, Look at your respective families. I mentioned them a couple of times here, but will they be supportive? Will they be problematic? Will they be problematic if you stay together? Will they be problematic if you announce that you're ending it? I mean, every situation is different. And you need to look at yours. And then how well do you think your spouse will handle the reaction? If you say it before or after. You know this person, you know how they react and what the short term and long term implications are of them being told, provided certain information. So you need to look ahead. So if after considering all of this, you decide it's best to wait until after the holidays to announce your decision, I want to explain that the fall, this time of year, could also be a great time then to at least start getting educated about the divorce. Doesn't mean you just have to sit there and do nothing and you can't start preparing until January 1st. You can do things now. So you may not want to tell your spouse until later that you want the divorce, but right now you could start getting educated about the laws in your state around the division of property, around spousal support, child support, custody and parenting plans. You could research the different divorce options, find out if mediation or collaborative divorce might be a good option for you, or if you are going to have to litigate, you could get more information by meeting with different attorneys to try and find that out. You can also down with an attorney for just legal advice about what to expect for an outcome. Might you need to pay? What might you receive? How would your assets be divided? Just so that you have a sense of what might happen, and you'll be better prepared when you announce that you want to end the marriage. We do something here called pre-divorce guidance, and it's a great option for somebody who knows they want the divorce but isn't ready to announce that yet. You could also meet with a certified divorce financial analyst. And, we've had CDFAs on the podcast before. If you heard other episodes, you know what they do. They help divorcing individuals or couples look at the financial aspects of the divorce. How will the money be divided? How will the assets be divided? What support might be needed? How will you support two households? What are the best tax efficient ways to divide certain assets? There's so much, and what the child support should be, the spousal support should be, and how to divide assets and liabilities. So you can meet with a CDFA at this time to get more targeted information about your financial situation. And that's a great thing to do right now. And all of these things can help you set yourself up for a more grounded and prepared place in the future to say, I want a divorce. This is the process I want to use. And then you'll be able to move forward. So this is a much shorter podcast than we usually do. That's what I wanted to share today. But I do have my one better divorce tip. And that is inspired by a quote by Robert Frost. And the quote is, the best way out is through. So I know this is a difficult decision to decide whether to end your marriage. And the approaching holidays could seem like a really good reason to put it off. But life will continue to happen, whether you're in a bad marriage or whether you're taking steps towards a better future. The children will be growing. Someone could get sick. Someone could lose a job. Someone could move to a new job. There's so much, life just keeps happening. And it's like this moving target. So I've seen clients put this decision off for years and years or even decades, and it never gets easier. So make sure you're not using the holidays as an excuse. If you truly are unhappy and need to and want to create a better future for yourself, going through the hard stuff now is a way for you to get through to the better life you want and get there sooner. So that is my better divorce tip for today. So if you've enjoyed today's episode, please like and subscribe. This will help others who are seeking a better divorce to find us. And if you'd like a copy of our free ebook, Divorce Without Court, a more peaceful solution, there's a link below. And you can get a copy of that. And this has been another episode of A Better Divorce podcast. I'll see you on the next episode.
You've been tuning in to another episode of A Better Divorce podcast with Andrea Vacca. Thank you for subscribing, leaving your positive comments and reviews, and sharing the show with others. You can watch episodes at vaccalaw.com, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. And you can listen through Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and more. Bye for now, and remember, you can have a better divorce.